This is an emergency broadcast from the MASN. If there are any mother factors still alive out there, please respond. I repeat, please respond. And bring pictures of Jennifer Lawrence.
Hello there, post-apocalyptic wilder people. I'm Sam, and I'm here to talk to you today about a concept that has scared the living heck out of humankind since the whole thing started. Yep, that's right, it's the apocalypse. But what steps should you take now to survive the end of the world? What's the most likely thing to end civilization? Why do REM feel so fine about it all? 2 out of 3 of those questions are going to be answered, so get yourself down a bunker with some beans now and calculate your plan to try and repopulate the world. Hopefully not by yourself. This is 101 facts about the apocalypse.
Number 1.
The word apocalypse has religious origins, so, strap in, comments section. It comes from the church Latin word apocalypsis, which means revelation. By some kind of bizarre coincidence, it appears in the Book of Revelation, which charts the destruction of the world as we know it. It's a very upbeat read. Number 2. The Book of Revelation is the last book in the Bible, and was apparently written by a man named John in 96 CE. Number 3. The Book of Revelation is famed for its vivid imagery, which includes a 7-headed beast rising out of the ocean that demands to be worshipped, like a multi-faced Mariah Carey. In my head, it all looks a bit Pacific Rim. Number 4. According to John, no last name, this beast looks like a leopard with the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion, if you can imagine such a thing. It's revealed in Revelations that the number of this beast is 666. Number 5. He apparently can't quite make up his mind about what number to have, though, as in the late 19th century, British archaeologists found ancient parchment fragments in the Egyptian city of Oxyrhynchus that declared the number of the beast to be 616. I'd just avoid both numbers if I were you. Number 6. Biblical scholars actually believe that this beast isn't literal. Oh man, I'll stop building my Jaeger now then. And that, instead, it represents the Roman Empire. When John was writing Revelation, there had been 7 emperors who had ruled over Rome, which was also known as the City of 7 Hills. Just like the 7 heads on the beast. Number 7. Interestingly, in Greek and Hebrew, numbers can be sort of translated into letters. The number 666 can be decoded to Nero, not the wob 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 dubstep outfit, but the Roman emperor who heavily persecuted early Christians. So basically what I'm saying is, the Bible might not actually be saying that we're all going to be destroyed by a giant leopard bear lion. Number 8. When one mentions the apocalypse, some people think of Oscar Isaac slathered in blue prosthetics. Others think of a 70s movie about Vietnam. Some still, however, think of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Number 9. The 4 horsemen are, again, a Christian concept, consisting of 4 mythical horses and their riders appearing on Earth as part of the last judgment of mankind, and just to generally wreck shit up. I mean, they word it differently in the Bible, but that's the basic concept. Number 10. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are known to represent 4 pretty horrid things: war and destruction, famine, death, and vengeance and salvation. I bet they're good fun at parties. Number 11. Apparently, according to the Book of Revelation, the final day of judgment is when God judges who will be let into heaven and who into hell. I imagine, if that happens, it will be just like waiting in line at the DMV and will probably take absolutely ages. Number 12. Anyway, that's enough religion for a bit, so put down your pitchforks, comment section. In 1947, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created the Doomsday Clock, which sounds an awful lot like a Doctor Who episode, but it's not. It's a symbolic clock that demonstrates humanity's proximity to the apocalypse. Number 13. You may want to grab your loved ones and give them a cuddle, because, bearing in mind that midnight represents cataclysmic destruction, as of now the clock stands at 11:57. That's 3 hypothetical minutes that we've got left. That's enough for at least 2 cuddles. Well, maybe even 3 if it's, been a while. Number 14. In 1953, it was 2 minutes to midnight, the closest it's ever been. This was due to both the USA and USSR developing and creating their own hydrogen bombs. So we've kind of travelled back in time a tad. Number 15. The Global Priorities Project has declared that there are 5 events most likely to make mankind extinct: global climate change, nuclear war, natural pandemics, exogenous risks, and emerging risks. Number 16. While the first 3 of those are fairly self-explanatory, exogenous risks include natural hazards that are beyond human control, like supervolcanoes, asteroid strikes, and your recently cooked omelette being thrown on the floor by some rogue wind. What? That's beyond human control. Number 17. Emerging risks include events potentially brought on through human activity, from man-made pandemics to artificial intelligence. Number 18. The ND Gain Index is a project by the University of Notre Dame that rates countries on their vulnerability to the effects of climate change if they reach life-threatening levels. So it's kind of an extremely scary weather forecast. Number 19. The ND Gain Index was invented in 1995 and is measured on 2 variables, vulnerability and readiness. So it's kind of like top trumps in a way. Oh, no, I didn't mean you. Number 20. Middle-earth, aka New Zealand, is the most prepared, followed by Norway, Denmark, the UK, and Germany. Number 21. Eritrea is apparently the least prepared, with Chad, Central African Republic, Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo completing the bottom 5. Number 22. In 2015, Oxford University's Future of Humanity Institute, which sounds like a supervillain corporation waiting to happen, as well as the Global Challenges Foundation, assessed the biggest risks to human civilization. The group came up with 12 categories of possible disasters. Number 23. One of these 12 is rather helpfully called Unknown Consequences. This is a category to cover all unknown threats as of now. An amalgamation of all the risks we haven't thought of yet or appear too ridiculous to even consider. The probability of the apocalypse from unknown consequences is 0.1%, you'll be relieved to hear. Number 24. An asteroid impact has the probability of 0.00013% of Armageddon. I mean, hopefully we'll have Bruce Willis and some other drillers on hand to train as astronauts just in case. An asteroid of 5 kilometers across in diameter is enough to destroy all civilization, but on average they hit Earth every 20 million years, so we should be good for a while. Stand down, Bruce. Number 25. Now we have artificial intelligence, like HAL and Ultron and WALL-E and co. This is one of the most discussed apocalyptic threats to this day, but there is no way of understanding how likely it is that AI will take over the world, which, again, is very helpful to... So the probability lies somewhere between 0 and 10%, which is worryingly the highest on this whole list. I'm sure we'll be fine, though. Number 26. The likelihood of a supervolcano ejecting enough volcanic material into the atmosphere to cause a volcanic winter, which sounds kind of cool but really isn't, is put at 0.00003%. Number 27. A full ecological collapse is another possible catastrophic disaster which hinges on certain species going extinct and the whole ecosystem collapsing completely. However, due to the many unknown circumstances, a probability is impossible to guesstimate, even for those brain boxes at Oxford. Number 28. The bad global governance category covers a mismanagement of global affairs. However, it's impossible to estimate the probability of this happening, although frankly, with the upcoming US election, it's probably creeping up and up. Number 29. The global system collapse, which covers the economic or societal collapse which makes civilized life on Earth absolutely impossible, is impossible to predict, but apparently could happen. Number 30. Extreme climate change has a probability of 0.01% of wiping us all out. Best keep a scarf and jumper near the door, just in case it happens while you're out. Number 31. While it's often thought of as the greatest threat to human civilization, and I've been playing Fallout for years in order to prepare myself for it, probability of a nuclear war on this scale is only at 0.005%. Number 32. According to scientists, in order for a disease to be potentially apocalyptic, global pandemics would have to combine incurability, lethality, extreme infectiousness, and a lone incubation period. Number 33. A virus would have to spread around the world before people were aware of what it was actually doing to us in order to succeed at offing us as a race. The probability of this apocalypse is 0.001%. Number 34.
Sam, what the hell is this, you little cock thistle?
I hear you asking, quite rudely actually. Well, it means the creation of a kind of supergerm which could target humans. Quite why someone would do this to themselves, I'm not sure, but hey, the human race made the Kardashians a thing, so we like hurting ourselves. The probability of synthetic biology ending the world is 0.01%. Number 35. Nanotechnology is the last of the 12 disaster categories. The fear here is that self-replicating nanomachines would take over the world by themselves. Quite similar to artificial intelligence, that, Oxford, but I digress. This also has a probability of 0.01%. Number 36. Global epidemics are probably the least sexy apocalypse option, but it really could happen. For instance, the Black Plague killed 1/4 of Europeans in the 14th century. Number 37. Also, BT dubs, the Centre of Disease Control and Prevention noted that between 1980 and 1992, the mortality rate from infectious diseases rose 58%. Number 38. What's more, this could have happened before. That rhymes. Around 12,000 years ago, a huge mammal extinction swept through the Americas. Ross McPhee of the American Museum of Natural History argues that this was due to virulent diseases. Number 39. The apocalypse has been predicted thousands upon thousands of times. We've all seen those posts on Facebook or Twitter or Bebo or whatever the cool kids are using these days, telling us that today should be the day the world ended. Number 40. One of the most popular apocalypse predictions was the Mayan calendar, which foretold the end of the world to be on the 21st of December 2012, which, unless it's massively delayed, didn't happen. Obs. Number 41. According to NASA scientists, the 2012 apocalypse theory became confused with another doomsday prediction. Supposedly, a planet called Nibiru, discovered by the Sumerians, was due to collide with Earth in May 2003, which, again, I'm not sure if I overslept that day, but I don't remember that happening. The meaning of life. The Mayan calendar didn't actually ever predict the apocalypse. It was literally just the end of the calendar. Just like when you get to December in your calendar, it doesn't mean the end time, so for Christ's sake calm down, it just means the end of the calendar. Time to buy a new one. Number 43. Other notable physicists say that the threat of an asteroid strike is far, far bigger than the Future of Humanity Foundation say it is. The Asteroid Day Foundation is a group of astrophysicists who are trying to promote awareness of the asteroid threat. Number 44. According to the Asteroid Day Foundation, there is a 1 in 50 chance that a massive asteroid could strike the Earth in the next 20 years. Although it wouldn't cause a worldwide apocalypse, it could destroy a country the size of France. Soz France. Number 45. What's even more worrying is that we don't really have the ability to stop any of these asteroids. Astronomer Lord Martin Rees has even declared that if we were to discover a planet killer were to strike in the next 20 years, we wouldn't really be able to stop it. We'd just have a sit down and wait for it. Number 46. The asteroid that struck and killed the dinosaurs was so enormous that at the time it hit the surface of the Earth, the rest of the asteroid was still sticking out 10 kilometers above the ground. That's massive! Number 47. 30% of the mammal population survived the asteroid impact by living underground Womble style and avoiding the intense heat and then harsh nuclear winter that followed. Basically, we'd need Vault-Tec. Number 48. Hey, are you worried about the potential for these guys to turn up and nosh on your noggin? Well, fear not. The US Centre of Disease Control and Prevention has a preparation guide for a possible zombie apocalypse. Number 49. The preparation guide recommends packing water, non-perishable food, medications, important documents like passport and driving licenses, and first aid in order to treat basic cuts, but obviously not bites. Stay away from those. I'd also recommend a f**k-off massive shotgun. Movies have told me that they're quite useful too. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, number 50. Don't you worry, guys. The British also have a scheme too.
Hey, Carl, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over.
Number 51. For those of you who kind of secretly wish an undead uprising would happen, Joan Schlonzewski, a microbiologist at Kenyon College and science fiction writer, has said that while it's unlikely the dead will rise again, neurotropic viruses that attack the brain and cause aggressive or bizarre behaviour do actually exist already. For example, rabies. Number 52. Although a zombie apocalypse does seem unlikely, if one of these viruses mutated and encountered populations with limited or no immunity, the potential outbreak could be quite enormous. I'd have Ash and Frank West on speed dial if I were you. Number 53. In 1806, a prophetic hen was found in Leeds in the UK. The chicken's eggs were inscribed with "Christ is coming." It turned out what was actually going on was that the owner was using acid to write on the eggs and putting them back up into the chicken. Oh god, wow. Poor chicken. Number 54. In 1999, people became terrified that the world would end on the 1st of January 2000 because of the mythical Y2K, which would occur when computer systems would change their dates to 1/1/2000. Number 55. The reason why people thought this would end all humanity was because they thought the computers would glitch out after thinking it was actually 1900 and not 2000, because they thought they'd gone backwards and start failing. Maybe even accidentally launching nuclear warheads while they're at it. As you may have noticed, this never happened. Number 56. In the 1840s, William Miller convinced hundreds of thousands of people that the world would end on October the 22nd, 1844. Number 57. He believed he had cracked the code of the Bible, but when the day came and eventually went, it earned the title of the Great Disappointment. Wait, disappointment? They should have been bloody delighted, shouldn't they? Number 58. Harold Camping, which is a name that sounds like it should be the name of a TV game show host, predicted that the world would end on the 21st of May 2011 and convinced many people to sell all their worldly possessions and to go out and convince people to do the same in order not to be enraptured by the, rapture. Number 59. Obviously, he has, as the kids say, done goofed. But this wasn't his first done goofing either. Camping had first predicted the end of the world on the 6th of September 1994. Number 60. He claimed he'd made a mathematical error in 1994, which is why the world didn't end. Yeah, 1994, 2011, very similar. Can see where he went wrong. Number 61. After his second predicted doomsday passed in May of 2011, he claimed it would actually take place on October 2011, and that May was just a spiritual day of judgment, like a dress rehearsal, but more, you know, Jesus-y. He then apologised in March of 2012 for his incorrect prophecies. Number 62. Apocalypses, or the idea of them, tend to attract some pretty dangerous cults and extreme sects. No, I said sects, and this bit's really horrible and serious, so shame on you. Take, for instance, the Heaven Gate cult. I'm going to have to do my serious voice now for a few facts, so strap in. Number 63. The Heaven's Gate cult committed suicide in order to avoid the apparently incoming apocalypse. 39 members of the cult drank poison and were then asphyxiated. Heaven's Gate exited the Earth with the belief that their souls would be transported to a spaceship trailing the Hale-Bopp comet. According to the group's leader, Marshall Applewhite, aliens were coming to cleanse the Earth, and they needed to leave their physical bodies very quickly. Number 65. The Branch Davidians and their leader David Koresh based their faith on Armageddon, believing that they were living in the final times as described by the Book of Revelation. Number 66. Koresh called himself the final prophet, and they lived in a group HQ called Ranch Apocalypse, in which the ranch caught fire and 76 people died. Number 67. The Movement of the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God, a post-Catholic Ugandan religious group, believed that the world was going to end in 2000. They believed that the Virgin Mary would appear on the 17th of March 2000 and take their members to heaven. Number 68. Instead, on that day, over 300 bodies were discovered at the church's headquarters, which was destroyed in a fire. Number 69. Sorry for saying this after something quite so serious and horrible. Former Republican presidential candidate Pat Robertson declared in 2012 that the world would end imminently due to economic collapse. According to Robertson, he was given this information directly from God, so, you can totally believe him on that one. Number 70. He then later gained his doctorate in sheer dickery in 2015 when he said that God would destroy the US economy and thus end the world because of LGBT rights. Well, hasn't happened yet, has it? What a bigoted trumpet. Number 71. Japanese doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo became convinced that the world was going to end in a massive World War III in 1997, starting with the US attacking Japan with nuclear weapons. Number 72. When most people think of apocalypses, the go-to guy isn't that guy with a sandwich board hanging around outside the shops, but Nostradamus. Number 73. Nostradamus was a French doctor born in 1503, who is most famous for his book, The Prophecies, written in 1555. Number 74. This handy little pamphlet contained prophecies written in a rhyming poem style, or quatrains, in order to avoid religious persecution. Number 75. Nostradamus predicted that the Antichrist will start a war that will last 27 years and end with the annihilation of humanity completely. So yeah, not exactly a feel-good read. Number 76. So, okay, one of these dozens of apocalypses I've mentioned actually happens. Then what do you do? Well, there's a group of people who know exactly how to survive in this scenario like this, known as preppers. Number 77. According to the American Preppers Network, there are 5 principles of preparedness: thrift and frugality, year supply, independence, self-reliance, industriousness, and dodge. Oh no, wait, that's something else. Number 78. Thrift and frugality requires preppers to be careful with their cash, so they probably won't be buying you around in the pub. They condemn the American normality of living off credit. Preppers want to be, and I quote, in control of their money instead of being a slave to lenders. Number 79. Preppers also strive to be truly independent, out of debt and without addictive substances like caffeine, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, medications, and unhealthy foods, or basically anything fun. I'm just kidding, don't do drugs, kids. Number 80. Principle 3, industriousness, promotes resourcefulness, furthering education and developing skills to ensure that you can be as successful as possible on your own. Blimey, this sounds more like The Apprentice than Surviving the Apocalypse so far. Number 81. The self-reliance bit is ensuring someone can survive all on their own and be self-sufficient. Like a lone wolf or a solitary squirrel. Lots of singing all by myself in the apocalypse, apparently. Number 82. Year supply is the goal that most preppers stick to, trying to have a year's worth of supplies of anything at any one time. Number 83. There are as many as 3.7 million estimated survivalists or preppers in the US right now, probably secretly hoping for the apocalypse to actually happen so that they can shout, "I told you so," at the entire world. Number 84. Survival Con is an annual US conference for survivalists and preppers. Wow, non-perishable food companies must make a f***ing killing there. Number 85. Some preppers even buy doomsday bunkers specifically built to survive any impending disaster. Number 86. In 2015, private shelter company Vivos revealed Vivos Europa 1, an invite-only 5-star underground survival bunker. Each of the 34 families allocated to live there will be given 2,500 square foot of floor space. Number 87. If you want to use this fabulous survival pit, then you need to be in or around Germany, because that's where it is. It was originally built by the Soviets during the Cold War for military equipment. Number 88. It's capable of withstanding close-range nuclear blasts, direct plane crashes, biological and chemical agents, shockwaves, earthquakes, tsunamis, electromagnetic pulses, and virtually all armed attacks. Number 89. It also has a 40-ton hydraulic truck door, a DNA vault to preserve genetic material of millions of donors, and even a shelter to preserve animal species. Oh, a little zoo. Number 90. Before you get some cardboard boxes and some tape together to try and build your own, I wouldn't bother trying. It originally cost 200 million euros to build and develop. Number 91. The White House actually has its own bunker too. Referred to as the Deep Underground Command Center, or DUC, it was built in 2012, replacing the existing Presidential Emergency Operations Center. Number 92. The old bunker was built under the east wing of the White House, but the new Secret Command Center was built under the west wing during the Obama administration. Number 93. In fact, the Oval Office has a trapdoor underneath the president's desk that leads directly to the underground bunker, so presidents can hop in and out of there like Houdini. Number 94. There used to be a secret train that ran between DC's Union Station and Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, in order to be used in an apocalyptic scenario. So at least we know that while everyone is dying around us, the POTUS is A-OK. How comforting. Number 95. Gamma ray bursts that originate in space could actually be the end of us all. They usually occur when two stars collide. Even if they were 1,000 light years away, the radiation would still kill the ozone layer and allow the sun's rays to fry us all. So when you see a shooting star in the sky, look up and plead them, for Christ's sake, do not hit another one. Number 96. Large solar flares could also do this too. But too little solar activity could also kill us. There's evidence to suggest that decreased solar activity contributed to 17 out of 19 major cold episodes on Earth in the last 10,000 years. Number 97. Rogue black holes could also easily kill us too. Damn, space, you scary! Researchers estimate there are about 10 million of them skulking around our Milky Way like angry goths in a shopping mall who could destroy all life. Maybe that analogy didn't work as well as I thought it would. Number 98. The reversal of the Earth's magnetic field also happens every so often, although it last happened 780,000 years ago. Without our magnetic field, some atomic deep space particles could strike Earth and cause ecological problems, resulting in the end times. Number 99? Really? As if there's not already bloody loads to be worried about, environmental toxins could also kill humanity as well. More and more substances and materials are being labelled as carcinogenic, i.e. nasty and cancer-giving. As of 2015, there were 116 of them. Number 100! In Norse mythology, Ragnarok is a series of events that culminate in the apocalypse. Frost and fire giants will fight the gods in one battle that will destroy the earth by submerging it. At least there'll be some, entertainment before we go. Number 101! The world after Ragnarok will resurface and be repopulated by 2 human survivors. I imagine it will probably be myself and Jennifer Lawrence. I hope. Well, I don't hope that the world ends, but if it were to, then we'd be the ones left. Oh, Jen. That was 101 facts about the apocalypse, and I don't know about you, but I had a lovely time. Well, as lovely a time you can have as you can in the apocalypse. If you want more 101 Facts videos, like I really want that last fact to actually be reality, really, then click on subscribe right now and you'll get exactly that. Go, click it, like that. Not like that with a mouse, but you know what I mean.